Hello everyone. We are going to have a look at the overview here of what's the same and what is new between Google Drive and OneDrive. And we're going to start there, and then we're going to look and go a little bit further afield and start to look at the naming of items within OneDrive and Office.com itself. Even though there will be a separate video for all that and looking at the differences there, I still have to use this differences isn't the same to emphasize how we can start to embed processes for us. So I'm going to go and stop my screen and then put the split screen up, the shared split screen that we had before. So I'm going to pause my video real short. Here we are with the split screen I had before. I quickly talked about how this activity panel just stays here. And how your OneDrive is pretty much everywhere that's saved for you, as well as things that are shared with you. So things that are shared with me, they can be direct. So I've got student files that are shared direct with me, and then I've got shared with me inside Google Drive, and that can be quite confusing in itself. When I used to do training for Google Drive before, I would always ask people to stay out of here unless you're looking for something very specific, or you're searching for something and searching for something by someone. So you can look for a specific person, and you can find that pretty quickly. So that's pretty much how Google Drive would be working before, is that you would have to go and pretty much search for everything, and then you would organize your drive by adding specific files and folders and folder structures like this. Whereas you have your files and your folder structure here, you can see that your folders pretty much just stay in this sort of format, and then they can sync from your desktop if you had the desktop app. Now we do have the desktop app on here. I haven't signed in on this computer with my File Explorer, purely because this is my personal machine and I don't sign in on specific apps as such on my personal machine, especially with OneDrive. My OneDrive though is synced on my school computer as well as my school iPad, so all these files will sync across devices and locations, just like it does on Google Drive. OneDrive will sync in exactly the same way. Is there anything specifically different from OneDrive to Google Drive? Only the way really that it's laid out. Your activity would normally sort of be, sometimes it's across the top, sometimes when you come into here it used to be across the top. So you would have your recent files or things that have been shared with you. Here you've got it permanently across the top. You can go through the areas a little bit easier. So I don't have my Google Classroom things here. That's one big difference. So I can go into my classes into here. So I can go into my teams and I can find the files that are in there, things that are shared with those particular areas. So you will probably have Year 6 teachers, which is here, and then the files within there that are shared with you are in here. So then you can see the two different places that are on the site library. You can close this down, but generally the files that are in Teams that you are shared at the top are in here. In Google Drive, you tend not to have that because we don't have the team structure in there. One of the differences here is that we don't use Gmail. So we don't have chat going on in Gmail. We don't have Gmail itself. So the activity with sharing through there isn't here, predominantly because we use Outlook and Teams, which is a benefit to us because everything syncs through that, and it syncs through people. So when things are shared with me and by me, I can have things directly to me within a class. So these are things that have happened this week within my classes. So again, where things are the same in OneDrive is search, but also filtering. So we filter. We also have a whole domain, and we also have all the files that we use in school, or at least the things that I use for my students and myself. Obscure things that, such as lists and whiteboard and loop. So the loops we're starting to use a lot more. So if I have whiteboard, which is things that I use for ideation, collaborative work, you can see that I've got multiple students in here all drawing at the same time. Someone asked about that the other day. What might I use for a collaboration tool? I might use whiteboard as an example for that. Again, where's that similar? It's pretty much set up as a collaboration tool on here. You just have more options now in OneDrive to collaborate all together than we do in Google Drive right now. One of those key features is hand drawing, or drawing with a stylus and a pencil. You can do that as a teacher and send the annotations to students, and the students can send annotations in nearly every single application on the web and on the applications by device. iPads, laptops, and your laptops and your desktops that you have to your screens, you can draw on all of them. In Google Drive, we can't do that. There's nothing in here to allow us to draw. Okay, so that collaboration is given a leg up by OneDrive than it is in Google Drive. So the final part I'm going to keep in this video for differences and similarities. There are many others, but these are just ones that I'm noticing people talk about. If there are any more, I can make a quick clip and then add on to this. Is organization. So I've talked about search, and I've talked about how these two are very similar and how they're very different in terms of approaches to the way students learn, or the way students and teachers use the devices themselves, and how this translates itself into the applications or the documents, and how it does in here. So that it's very text-based and image-based in here. It's both image, text, audio, and there are lots of add-ons in here, such as drawing. Organization in here, so you have your organization, which is very similar to all the types of file types that are in here. So we can go to more types in here. It's very similar. Organization. Inside OneDrive, in this waffle menu, you have what's called an app launcher. And this is where we go into Office. Okay, I'm going to stay away from this. Okay, so the only thing that I really am going to stretch and move into as well in terms of language is moving into this Office suite, because it doesn't do it in Drive. You have everything together in here, and unless you filter, it's only in here. Unless you specifically go to Docs and then you organize yourself and go into the specific sheets. But generally people don't go that route. They generally keep all the things in here. In Office, if you know that you're working in PowerPoint, you can open up the PowerPoint, and any PowerPoint that you had is in office.com. Okay, I know it says Microsoft365.com, but you can go to office.com and it'll take you to exactly the same place. So here, this is every single PowerPoint that is here. I'm not going to go any further because it'll just be confusing. But you can find everything that that you're using shared with you, what's been edited, that when it was edited, was it edited today? But you can see the times, and then you can also see the PowerPoint that I've literally just been using. This was edited and used in the app, not online. However, just like Google, the organization is slightly off and slightly different. But just like Google and Google Slides, or presentations as they're called now, Google presentations will open up in exactly the same way online. So some of the processes are slightly different, but the end result is the same. I'm going to leave it there, and because that's 10 minutes, I think it's too long, but that's the differences and similarities. Any more that you stumble on, please get in touch.